Folks, I've got a very interesting individual who's now making his appearance on the blues scene. Could you introduce yourself to the lovely people?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan T. Higgins.
Your debut album is called Mad Love. Any particular reason why you decided on that actual name?
It, it's not a real deep answer on that one. It's Mad. It was my favorite song, basically, and it's kind of in a way, it's a tribute to Muddy Waters. I mean, I sound nothing like Muddy Waters, but I love his music, and
No,
so.
but you've got a good singing voice. Don't jive your voice.
Oh no, it's not about that. It's like actually the thing I admire about Muddy Waters is like he took the songs, every song he did, he took it and he owned it. And
Hmm.
so it's like, I want to be able to own every single song I sing, right? So in that way, it's a tribute, even though,
Now, the album itself, you've been around for a few years doing your shtick, having fun, doing entertainment,
yeah,
honing your craft, if you will. When did you decide that you needed to make an album?
you know, it was a couple years back. Actually, Rick Bowen, who plays
Hmm.
drums on the album, we had played together in Michelle DeMore and the Love Dealers, and we'd worked on an album for her. And a couple years ago, I ran into Rick, and he's like, "You know what? We should do an album." And I got to thinking about it. I was like, "Yeah, we should." And that's what started it right there.
Hmm.
It's always something I wanted to do of my own, and so here we are.
Well, I'm glad that you did because otherwise I wouldn't have been made aware of your existence in the blues scene. Um, the When was the album created, though? I know that Rick gave you the idea and you decided to do it a few years ago. Did you do it? Did you actually master it during the pandemic or just after?
No, we just finished the mastering of the album here about a month ago.
Okay.
Actually, it was October 2nd we finished the mastering finally. Right.
So the album was probably created during somewhat of the restrictions during the ill-fated pandemic that we had.
Some of the inspiration came for it. I went through a period where I wasn't playing out much, and when the pandemic hit, we all kind of reassessed maybe what we wanted to do with our lives. It was like, I really miss playing, and I, miss playing out.
Mhm.
So I started putting together a list of things, and actually my goal from the pandemic was like, okay, it's time to get out there, start playing again. And so it was just putting together some songs I wanted to play. Uh,
Okay.
and then the album is kind of stemmed from that. It's um, yeah.
Okay. So during the shutdown, you didn't decide to try Twitch or stream any music directly with you doing a mini show per se?
No, I didn't try that. Actually, in the pandemic, I had like two goals. Was like to put together. I want to put together a live show. So when we
Uh-huh.
come out of the pandemic, I've got something ready to go.
Okay.
And then the other part was I actually was like, I'm going to get serious about building electric guitars. So I like built myself. I actually had built myself my own CNC machine. And I spent a lot of time during the pandemic, like learning how to use that and
Hmm.
carve out guitars and things like that. So yeah.
Okay. So that would have been your hobby to actually use and eventually craft it to the abilities that you actually practice on the CNC. So would you say you're an adept now doing this?
I'm competent.
Competent?
Yeah, I'm competent. I can
Okay, no.
carve out. I made a lot of labor intensive firewood when I was figuring it out.
At the very least, it didn't turn out into matchsticks. Congratulations.
Yeah, I actually,
uh,
I've finished a few of them, and everyone that I've finished, people that have them have been really happy with them. So
Okay,
So,
well, I'm happy to hear that.
yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happier still to listen to the music. I listened to all the tracks in the last 48 hours. I
Yeah.
listened to it twice. Unfortunately, I didn't do any downloads. I just went straight to the Dropbox and I listened to one after the other.
Hmm.
And then I spotted on some songs that were actually spot on music wise, and the others were kind of a bridge, kind of a I'm trying to say a segue or between one style to another. I know the first song is starts you off, but then eventually you end up having instrumentals during the album. There's one that sounds like a blues. I can't find the proper word. Blues. A ballad, a blues ballad is what I'm trying to
Yes.
say.
Oh, slow blues. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
with that, then we get into tongue in cheek with the Kitty song.
Yeah.
And then I saw that I think you covered a song that I've heard way too often, which was Champagne and Reefer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but it's kind of one of those rare ones that actually gets done. Out of the album, how many of those songs are your originals?
So there's 12 songs on the album, and 8 of them are all are original tunes by me.
Okay, any of them from Muddy Waters?
The title track, Mad Love, is a Muddy Waters tune, and then Champagne and Reefer is also a Muddy Waters tune.
Sweet. Now we've already covered everything for this particular album.
Hmm.
Would you say that you're going to be touring, possibly to another province, or is it gonna be just internally in your own province?
Um, my goal right now is, starting looking at getting booked for like festivals and things like that in the
Hmm.
coming year. Um, I'm not haven't ruled out doing some kind of a tour. Completely
Okay,
open to it. Um, for me, the goal was, this is my first album, and so the goal was to get the album out there, right? So
sweet.
anything beyond that's bonus for me, honestly. So
Okay, so you're going to be doing it more probably locally until you get gigs outside of your hometown.
yeah, it's all about, building things up. Do the Northwest Circuit here around the Washington area, right? It's a good place to start.
Yeah. Sadly, you're a little bit far from New Brunswick. Will eventually get you, but it'll be like maybe 1 to 2 years from now.
Hmm.
But I'm not crossing that out. The the funny thing about music is that every single musician has their own style,
Hmm.
and your style is completely different from many that I have actually covered. In fact, the album came out, and you could submit it for any possible awards, depending on which province you're in, and also nationally.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best with that. And I really enjoyed this album. I know that it's going to receive airplay like you wouldn't believe. Um, now, any other projects album was? No, this is the first album, but I'm pretty sure you're banking up other tunes and songs that you're composing.
Oh yeah, I've got, folders full of song ideas. I'm starting to work on some new songs. In a way, this album, some of these songs I've written several years ago, and it was a way for me to kind of put a bookend on everything I've written up to this
Hmm.
point. And now I've got a fresh start, right? I can
Okay.
start the next batch of ideas that come on, right? So yeah.
And with that, you're going to be building more electric guitars, various stylings.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Definitely. I've got 4 of them partly finished sitting out in the shop right now, 4 guitars and a pile of songs.
well, The fun thing about this is that I'm happy that you managed to keep alive during the hard times that we all went through. That you didn't despair after not being able to do any gigs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to be successful at whatever you decide to do in regards to gigs, and
Mm-hmm.
possibly with a side gig on electric guitars. You might be the man that we're all looking for repairs or custom models.
Yeah, I really enjoy that part of it. Yeah.
One last question comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asking this since I've been doing interviews. It's off the wall,
Mm-hmm.
so don't despair. It's simply this: what's your favorite dish?
Mm. That's a tough one to call. Sometimes it depends on the day, like what my favorite dish is.
Uh-huh.
Pizza's an obvious one, and I know that there's probably a lot of people that pick that one, but I love good pizza.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Good tacos, can't beat that. Good Thai food, like that. Here in the Seattle area, we have a lot of great restaurants that you can go check out. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, folks, just to let you know, he's in the U.S. He's not
Oh,
in
yes.
Canada. Let's be specific about this. So you're in Washington State and you're in Seattle.
Hmm.
So you'll probably be touring the Pacific Northwest eventually fully to your capacity, and hopefully we'll see you coming close by.
Yeah.
One festival in mind for us here in New Brunswick is the Harvest Festival, which used to be the focal point for jazz and blues, but
Hmm.
they've opened up the namesake to encompass a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of stylings. So they decided to rebrand from that to simply Harvest. So
Hmm.
it doesn't say to anyone that, well, it's just jazz and blues. I'm not going there. So that's it. That's the interview, folks. This is him in the flesh, taking time from his busy day and sitting down and doing this interview.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yannick.